I'm a spirit channeler and oracle card reader who channels both light and shadow energies in my readings, which means if you're easily triggered, please find yourself another reader. Ascension messages from your shadow. From left to right, you have piles 1, 2, and 3. Pause the video if you need some more time to choose your pile, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So the Ascension message from your shadow is a rather interesting one. So bear with me because most of you guys do not remember this, and you're probably going to want to say, what the hell is she talking about? But I'm going to give you the message, and it's up to you to try to remember what the heck this is. So basically, at some point you made some kind of a promise. Well, that was basically a contract that you really wanted something to happen. You really wanted to be saved from some sort of distressing situation. And then you made some sort of internal plea that if you were to be helped out of the situation, then you would do something. And you were actually helped out of this situation. A lot of you guys, this had to do with receiving some sort of money, because when I clarified, I did get the 6 of Pentacles. But I am also picking up something to do with like a home life or something like that. So there are some of you guys here where you made some kind of plea when you were a kid to get out of your home earlier than 18. Because it was an abusive home life. Some of you guys made a plea to get one of your parents out of the home. So to have one of your parents leave with you and your siblings, or to have one of the parents leave the home because they were abusive or toxic or causing problems. So that did happen. Those are the 2 instances I'm picking up. I'm picking up something to do with either money or getting someone out of a home, or you getting out of a home, an abusive or toxic home. There may be other scenarios as well, because this is a general reading, but those are the only 2 I'm picking up. Worst case scenario, or the most extreme scenario, is that if you seriously, like, after going into deep meditation and can't think of anything that happened when you were like, for most of you guys, it was below the age of 18, but some of you guys, again, it could have been adulthood, especially if it had to do with money. But if you seriously can't remember anything, this may actually be coming from past lives. But I'm not seeing, let me just see if I can clarify. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's indicating that this came from past lives. I really feel like for the majority of you guys, this came from this lifetime. Definitely some sort of dissatisfactory emotional situation, seriously, that was causing a lot of depression and anxiety and stress here, and you really wanted to leave. You wanted to be separated from this dissatisfactory situation that was causing a lot of emotional upheaval. So anyways, you made this plea that you basically said, like, you know when people are like really distressed, or their backs are against the wall, and they like say God or whatever, or angels or whoever, if you get me out of this, or ancestors, if you get me out of this, I promise I'll do X, Y, and Z. And a lot of times, if there's a delay in manifestations coming to pass, which there like pretty much always is, because of the way that the physical realm works, but the longer the delay, the more difficult it is for you to put 2 and 2 together and to attribute the outcome to some sort of manifestation or prayer or magic or spell work that you did maybe weeks earlier. So the longer the delay between the outcome, the manifestation, and the incitement incident or prayer or whatnot, the more difficult it is for humans to put 2 and 2 together. So most of you guys actually didn't exactly put two and two together. You thought, oh, this could actually be because of this, but because there was enough of a delay, you may have been thinking, oh, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it happened because this, and this. Like maybe it happened because I just got lucky. So if any of you guys ever like had some kind of situation where you wanted to get out of a home or an apartment because there was something seriously wrong with the home or apartment, maybe it was like infested, or maybe the neighbors were horrible, the landlord was horrible or toxic, or you're living with horrible roommates, or you're living with horrible family members and you wanted to leave, or you desperately needed to pay your rent, or else you were literally on a thread. Your landlord said that he or she would have kicked you out immediately if you missed one more payment, or if you're late one more time. Yeah, that is the situation that came to pass. So anyways, your shadow self is basically saying that you actually have this outstanding contract here that you didn't fulfill. So you really need to go back into your memory and remember what the heck this was and what you promised. So what you said in the X, Y, and Z slot, what you said when you said angels, God, ancestors, whoever, I promise if you do this for me, help me here, I promise that I'll X, Y, and Z. You need to remember what that X, Y, and Z is, because it's outstanding and it's actually causing a little bit of a problem here. I did get the devil card, and I got the more basal devil card in this deck. So I know when I get this one that it's a little bit serious. I'm going to see if I can see anything that may tell me, of course, keeping in mind this is a general reading, so it's like, but maybe I can see a little bit like what you may have asked or promised. Some of you guys, I'm immediately seeing here, some of you guys promised that you would never go back. So maybe you were with an abusive romantic partner and you said, I promise if you get me out of this situation, I'll never go back to them. And you did. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's not to shame you or anything like that, but that was a very, very bad decision if that is the case. Let's see if I'm seeing anything else. Ooh, some of you guys really wanted a ex-romantic partner to come back to you. And what did you... Oh, some of you guys said, oh, I promise I'll like be better or something, or I'll do better if this person comes back. Yeah, some of you guys may have been the abuser, and you said, I promise if this person comes back, then I'll treat them better. And you didn't. So that's outstanding. Let me see if I can see anything else. Some of you guys made a promise that you would, if you got out of a abusive romantic relationship, that you would never go back or go get into another relationship with someone like that, and you did. And some of you guys said you would never get into another relationship again, and you did. Some of you guys promised that you would end something if you got something else. So something that was causing you this kind of problem in the first place, whatever this problem was, whether it was finances or family relationships or romantic relationships. Some of you guys promised that you would stop whatever this negative habit was, and you didn't stop it. So anyways, the Ascension message from your shadow is that there is some sort of bargain / contract that is outstanding. So those are your messages. I hope that helped you and resonated, and let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 2, welcome to your reading. So the Ascension message from your shadow has to do with you have a very strong detective slash investigative archetype that needs to be expressed in this lifetime, especially in order to have financial abundance and stability. So you are supposed to write something down or communicate some information to the masses through some other medium. And you're supposed to get the information that you're supposed to share through investigating and channeling. Now, this is a general reading. Like, what this information is going to vary for all of you guys. But your primary source of income should involve some sort of channeling or investigating and digging and compiling such information through some sort of medium, preferably a book, but not necessarily, and distributing that to the masses. It could be masked in, say, fiction, or it could be straight lectures or nonfiction books or something like that, or some sort of speaking events. Now, I'm trying to figure out where this correlation is coming from, because it's like they're tied together. Yeah, see, and I got the Four of Pentacles. They are pretty much tied together. It's like your abundance is tied to your ability to investigate and distribute information. Yeah, I'm seeing someone who's hoarding information. Look at this card. Look at this. Do you see someone hoarding information? Look at how it's grabbing hold of that book. Looks like a book or a briefcase or something filled with like some sort of information, and it's hoarding it. So you're sitting on some sort of ability and information that is supposed to be shared and distributed. Here we have the Three of Wands, so it's supposed to be shared and distributed, but it's not being done. I'm still trying to figure out where this is coming from. Because otherwise, if I'm not seeing anything, we could just assume this is some sort of soul contract or something like that. Okay, so I am seeing some sort of contract. I'm seeing a few more details about the contract, but quite frankly, I'm not going to say it because for two reasons. One, this is a general reading, so that may not apply for all of you guys, and also because you need to figure this out on your own. But one thing that I can tell you is that if you feel drawn to or connected with Archdemon Lucifer, there is a connection there, and he is one of your guardians. So if you attempt to contact him or speak with him, you will get some answers and you will get a connection. But here's the thing. You need to okay, the reason why I'm struggling with this reading is because I have like a really hard time telling people what they should and shouldn't do based off of some sort of soul contract that they can barely remember. Like, stuff like this actually pisses me off, and that's why I'm struggling so much with this stupid reading, because I don't want to have to tell you that you're being blocked money-wise if you try to get any kind of job or career that doesn't involve the aforementioned career, but you are indeed being blocked money-wise if you try to get any sort of career that is not in alignment with the aforementioned type of career. And the aforementioned type of career is going to be freelancing or self-employed entrepreneur type of thing. You're not really going to be working for other people. You may start off that way. Some of you guys, this could be journalism. You may start off that way, but I promise you where you're supposed to be headed is independent, and you will not stay working for someone for long. If you do not wish to do this in this lifetime, like say you change your mind or something like that, you're going to have to do some sort of drastic spell to cancel this contract. Because if you don't cancel this contract, you are bound by it, and you need to fulfill this end of the contract. You need to be channeling or investigating some sort of information and distributing this information in order to have any hope of financial stability and abundance in this lifetime. So it's either that you just do it, buckle down and do it. And this is actually in your shadow, because your shadow self enjoys doing this stuff, but you're being distracted by the outside world because you have bills to pay and all that kind of stuff, and you're thinking, okay, well, this is a hobby, this thing that I do is a hobby and it doesn't pay the bills, so I need to get a real job. So you kind of shove it aside into your shadow. For most of you guys, this is not completely in your shadow. This is something that you do on the side in your free time as a hobby, but you're not considering taking it seriously for a full-time career. So it's partially in your shadow, or what's really in your shadow is this as a full-time career, this as something that's taking up your entire awareness and focus. That's what's in your shadow. It's becoming your primary focus. So you basically told yourself, this cannot be my primary focus. I need to earn money. But the issue is that because they're like tied together, it's like they're bound together. Your money is bound to this becoming your primary focus. And any other methodology you try to use to get money is going to run dry, or it's going to come in trickles. It's not going to be abundantly flowing. So it's either that you take this seriously and do it full time, or you do some sort of drastic spell to sever yourself from this soul contract so that your finances can be separated from this life purpose, so that you can make money through other avenues if you don't wish to do this anymore. So it's up to you. You need to decide what you're going to do. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, you have to do this if you don't want to do it. What I can tell you is that you're really predisposed to doing this thing, so it comes naturally to you. It's basically like I said, it's a strong archetype. It's one of your highest archetypes, and you're predisposed to do this kind of work. So what I can tell you is that it's not going to be a drag for you to do it. Even if you think right now, oh, it would be a drag. Sometimes you may have thought about potentially doing it full time, and you think that it's going to be a drag somehow. What I can tell you is that after you get over this small hurdle from the commencement of taking it seriously and full time, full focus, once you get over that small hurdle, it's going to be rather smooth sailing, because you are predispositioned to do this thing. But again, if for some whatever reason, either you want to delay doing this thing, or you just simply don't want to do it anymore, period, you're going to have to sever your finances from fulfilling this life purpose contract in order to be able to make money through any other avenue. One more thing I want to pop in and mention for pile 2. Don't worry about these cards. I already began pile 3. But I had another thought for you guys. If you don't want to completely cancel the contract, one thing you can do is renegotiate the contract, because if you want to be able to have financial stability through another avenue for maybe a certain amount of years before you're ready to buckle down, settle down, and focus full time on the life purpose, then you need to renegotiate that. Or if you want to be able to earn a comfortable financial stability through some other avenue whilst you are working on and focusing on this life purpose, like simultaneously, you also need to renegotiate that as well. So you don't have to completely cancel it. So you do have 3 options. I spoke more about 2 options. I said you either do it or you cancel it. You can also renegotiate it. Okay, so those are your messages. I hope that helped you and resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So the Ascension messages from your shadow. So basically for you, all of you guys, your shadow is telling me that you have a larger vision for your life, or you should. Well, you do, but depending on how buried it is for you guys, you may only faintly remember it. Others of you guys, you may daydream about it constantly, and it may be more conscious and to the forefront, but there is some sort of larger vision that you have for your life, but you are allowing yourself to be held back due to some sort of societal or religious programming or set of unwritten rules, or if it's religious written rules that are preventing you from doing this. So if you are religious, there are some sort of written rules that say that you have to get married and have children, and some of you guys really don't want to do that. Especially if you're females, I'm seeing that some of you guys don't want to get married and have children. There is some sort of written rule or some sort of cultural as well. It could be a cultural rule or expectation that I'm picking up heavy female here in this group, that if you get married, like you have to be subservient to your husband or something, or you have to cut back on your career goals. Yeah. That's what it is. You have to pull back your career goals and focus on being a good wife. That's a cultural expectation for some of you guys. So you have to cut your education short. Some of you guys actually want to go into a master's degree, but you have to cut it short in order to get married. Others of you guys, this is not to do with marriage, but it is to do with your still your finances and your job and where you work, and you have some sort of cultural idea or societal idea that you can only work certain types of jobs or positions, and you're daydreaming about working somewhere else or being in a different career field. Like you really want to be in a different career field that pays more, that allows you to use your brain more, that's in a different environment, maybe even in a different country or location altogether. But for some reason, you believe that you were stuck there. And again, it really has to do with either some sort of societal conditioning or unwritten rules, or cultural conditioning and unwritten rules, or religious conditioning and unwritten rules, or familial conditioning growing up. So yeah, you have to, Ten of Swords here, I just pulled it. You have to end something, end some place that you are, end some sort of life that you created for yourself or that you had outlined for yourself, because it's not the life that you actually want, but it's a life that you feel that you have to take, or that you have to do for whatever reason. And you have to end this path that you're on, and you have to go towards the path that you actually want to go towards, go down the path you actually want to go down. That is what your shadow is urging you to do. because it feels how uncomfortable, it knows how uncomfortable you actually are in this current situation. Either you're already in the situation or it's outlined for you and you know that you're soon going to be in this situation. Some of you guys, I see some of you guys here are like 16, and I'm really picking up strong cultural stuff here where it's like, you know, you're going to have an arranged marriage when you're 18 or something, and but you want to go to post-secondary, but you can't. There's a lot of this kind of types of energy in this reading. Someone either explicitly telling you that you can't have the life that you want, or it being implied somehow or written down in concrete form in some sort of canon, and you want bigger things for your life, but you are being held back, or you're holding your own self back, but you feel like you're being held back by some sort of societal or familial or cultural or religious expectations. So you got to end that again with that Ten of Swords, and you got to go where you want to go. Yes, you have to have the strength. This is the strength card. It's in reverse right now because until you end this outline, this false outline that you have for your life, and go after what you truly want to do, the strength card is going to continue to be in reverse. And there are 2 strength cards in this deck, and I got the one with the portal. So this really is showing me that there's movement involved, you moving from one area, going through a portal, a kind of unknown, another map, because the outline, the map that you have is what is expected of you. And the other one is not mapped out. It's just a vision here. You just have this grand idea, but it's not mapped out. So it's like going in through this void where you have the full picture kind of, but you don't have a map. So you don't actually know what's going to wait for you on the other side. And you have to choose that path if you want to be happy, because I see like some kind of issue that's going to continue to pop up if you continue along this false destiny here, and you're going to have problems along the way. So it's going to pop up every couple of years where, I don't know, you're always fighting with your husband, or you're constantly getting fired or let go from jobs, or just something. I did see actually some of you guys are going to always have some issues with pregnancies, a lot of issues with pregnancies, and yeah, look, after I just said that, some of you guys, I am seeing, unfortunately, a bunch of I mean, you can understand what I'm saying, some issues with pregnancies here. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of issues that keep popping up every like several years or a few years periodically, depending on what stage you're on here. It could pop up every like several months. It could be in quicker succession. To know like how imperative it is for you to get a move on, to take the new path, to know how imperative it is for you, you should look at how frequently these sort of tower moments or Ten of Sword moments, these shakeups, these chaos, these endings are happening in your life. If they're happening every like couple or several months, then you really need to get a freaking move on now, because you're at a central pathway, like a central crossroads right now where you really need to move. And if these shakeups are happening every couple years or so, you kind of quote unquote have time, but that doesn't mean that you should continue to stay there. The sooner the better for you to plant your feet on the new direction and go, leave. Even if that means breaking up a family, you guys are not happy in it. Even if that means you're engaged, you don't really want to marry this person, just freaking leave before you are forced to get a divorce 5 years later anyways, with a kid to boot. So those are your messages. I hope that helped you and resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading.